everyone. Welcome back to Department 7. We are back on the record on the Hunter versus Hunter matter. Ms. Hunter is present at petitioner's table. Mr. Hunter is present at respondent's table with Ms. Abrigo. Ms. Hunter, Ms. Abrigo, and Mr. Hunter, the court has received 3 stipulation and order forms in this matter. There are 9 separate terms that are contained on the stipulation and order forms. Ms. Hunter, prior to signing the stipulation and order forms, did you have an opportunity to review each and every one of these stipulations between the parties?
I believe I understand them.
Okay. Did you read through them and did you understand them?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need any additional time to look over these stipulation forms at this time?
No.
So there is a signature line that says signature of petitioner. Is that your signature on each of these stipulation forms, Ms. Hunter?
Yes.
Ms. Hunter, prior to signing the stipulation forms, you indicated you did have a chance to review all the terms and conditions of the stipulation. If you had any questions about the terms and conditions of the stipulation, were you able to discuss those with Judge Miller?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other questions for the court at this time as it relates to the terms and conditions of the stipulation in these 3 forms? Thank you. Mr. Hunter, on the second line, sir, it says signature of respondent. Is that your signature, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Abrigo, under attorney for respondent, is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hunter, prior to signing these 3 stipulation forms, sir, were you able to review these 3 stipulation forms?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you had any questions about the stipulation, the 9 stipulations that are contained, were you able to discuss those with Ms. Abrigo?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you had any questions about the stipulations, was Ms. Abrigo able to answer those questions for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any other questions for Ms. Abrigo or this court at this time, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Hunter, do you understand that once the court signs the 3 stipulation and order forms, the stipulations entered into by the parties become an order of the court?
Yes.
And do you understand, ma'am, that a violation of court orders can result in civil and or criminal penalties?
Yes.
And Mr. Hunter, do you understand, sir, that once the court signs the stipulation and order form with these 9 stipulations, that these become orders of the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand, sir, that a violation of court orders can result in civil and or criminal penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court is going to sign and date the stipulation and order forms with today's date. Ms. Virgo, are you taking status today?
Yes.
Ms. Hunter, you are the petitioner in this action for dissolution. Prior to you have filed a petition for dissolution in this case. Is everything that you stated in this petition for dissolution true and correct?
Yes.
Before you filed a petition in this matter, were you a resident of the state of California for at least 6 months and the county of San Diego for at least 3 months? Have irreconcilable differences led to the breakdown of your marriage with Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Do you believe there is anything that this court can do to save your marriage to Mr. Hunter?
No.
Both parties have filed their FL-141s with proof of the preliminary property declarations of disclosure in the court file. At this time, the court grants a judgment of dissolution in this matter based on a finding of irreconcilable differences of the parties. The marital status of the parties is terminated. The termination date is January 31st, 2023. The parties are, as of now, returned to the status of single persons. Ms. Hunter, do you wish to have a former name restored at this time?
Yes, sir.
And what is that former name, ma'am?
Janikowski.
And if you could please spell that last name.
Jankowski.
And is there a middle name, ma'am?
Elizabeth.
The petitioner's name is restored to Margaret, M-A-R-G-A-R-E-T, Elizabeth, traditional spelling, Jankowski, Jankowski. The court reserves jurisdiction over all other unresolved matters, including those set forth in Family Code Section 2337. Ms. Abrigo, I am going to order that you please prepare the judgment and submit that to the court for processing. I will set a control-only FRC date in this case. Ms. Hunter and Mr. Hunter, that is simply a status date to make sure that the judgment was received and processed by the court so this matter does not fall through any cracks, and so that judgment can be finalized by the court. Ms. Abrigo, how long do you believe you need to prepare the judgment for submission?
No longer than 6 days.
All right, thank you. Ms. Abrigo, how does April 24th at 1:45 in this department, Department 7, work for your account?
Do we appear on that date?
I will address that momentarily, thank you. All right, and Ms. Jankowski, does April 24th, 2023 at 1:45 work for your calendar? And Ms. Jankowski and Mr. Hunter, if the judgment has been submitted to the court, has been signed and processed by the court, then that date will come off calendar and neither party needs to appear in Department 7 for that hearing date. Once again, that is simply a placeholder to make sure the judgment has been received and processed prior to that time. If not, then we can follow up with that to see if there's a reason for the holdup. Ms. Jankowski, any questions about the court's orders today? Ms. Abrigo, anything further? All right, thank you, Ms. Jankowski. Mr. Hunter, I will commend the two of you for reaching an agreement in this case. As I mentioned before we started this process, it is always in the party's best interest to reach agreements because you know your situations better than this court ever will, and that way you have some control over what happens with the case moving forward. So I will commend you for reaching a resolution in this matter. Mr. Abrigo, thank you for helping the parties to reach this agreement in this matter as well. I will wish the both of you the best of luck moving forward. Have a good morning.